here today with Eva, and we're going to teach you how to do a rollover trick. So, what I'd like to do for this trick is to get your dog in a down position. I'm going to go closer to the floor just so it's easy for me to reach her. Eva down. Yes, very good. I want to reward that. Now what I want to do in order for my dog to roll over, I'm going to use a treat in my hand. Yes, very good. I'm going to use a treat in my hand and I'm going to lure her towards the right position. However, for dogs it takes a little time, or I should say for most dogs, it takes a little time before I feel comfortable rolling all the way over. And so I am going to reward her even for a small movement only. What I want to do is I want to get her down, yes, and now while she's engaged with the treat, I'm going to lure her nose towards down, yes, I'm going to lure her nose towards her hip, yes, and as soon as she is pretty comfortable being on her back, but as soon as she makes the slightest movement, I'm going to reward that, so I say, you could hear me say yes, and I gave her the treat, so even down, and I'm going to, yes, good girl, that's what I'm going to reward for now. Now, once your dog is comfortable doing that, you're going to make it a little bit more difficult for them. So I'm going to ask Eva down. And I'm going to wait a little longer before, maybe when she's all the way on her back, before I mark and reward. So I'm going to say, yes! Okay, super girl! So that was a really nice and slow roll, just to show you how to do it. Ready, girl? Eva down. And then eventually, once your dog gets the hang of that, you can start getting up on your feet and doing it from a little bit of a different perspective. Ready? Down. Yes! So as you can see, I had to move my hand over her head quite quickly because that's her cue now. And that's what it would look like in the end. Hi guys, I'm here today with Eva and we're going to show you how to teach your dog to do a figure 8 between your legs. This is one of our favorite tricks just because we really like working together as a team. Hi, love. Oh, very good. So there's two ways where you can start, either with your dog in front of you or your dog behind you. I would recommend for most people to have your dog sitting behind you, and it should be quite easy because I can just lure her into a position, sit, and stay. And I'm going to go in front of her, just to make it easier. Now, I'm going to have a treat in my hand, and I'm going to lure her through my hand, through my legs, sorry. And as soon as she's through and around my leg, I'm going to reward that, even if she only does it once. Yes, because she's following the lure. Now I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult, and I'm going to lure her. Yes. So as you can see, I'm rewarding her quite often just to get her to understand what it is that I want her to do. And then as we're progressing, we're slowly gonna reduce the amount of treats that we're giving her. So we're gonna do that again. You ready? Sit. Good. I'm gonna stand in front of her and I'm gonna lure her through. Yes. Now for the next one, I'm gonna put my hand on her nose. Yes. And lure her through the other way. So you wanna make sure you have snacks in both of your hands. Ready? Yes! Good girl. Ready? Yes! Good girl. What I'll do is, because as you can see in the beginning, I was leaning over quite a bit because I was still luring her. But as we are fading the lure, I want to be able to get my body up straight. So, Eva, sit. Yes. I'm going to go, Eva, through. Yes. Still rewarding. Eva, ready? Through. Yes. Very good. Eventually, you want to be able to either, hi, good peekaboo. You want to be able to either get rid of your hand movements, your lures all together, and you want to go with your body, so go with your legs. So what you can start doing is, once your dog is comfortable going in between your legs, start making very obvious movements so that they understand, hey, if you're moving your body like that, this is what you want me to do, and if I do that, I'm going to get that reward. So, I'll take a treat in my hand. Eva. True. Yes. True. Yes. True. Yes. True. Yes. True. Yes. True. Yes. True. Okay. Go, George. Oh, sneeze. Hi, George. a younger dog, and we're gonna teach you how to do the trick bow. George doesn't fully know this trick yet, so he's a really good example of what it might look like while you're teaching your dog this trick. Georgie, come. Good, come. So for this trick, you want your dog in a standing position to start with. Georgie, stand. Oh, George is very food motivated. And what I want to do is I'm going to use my treat as a lure. So I'm going to make sure he's engaged with the treat while he's in a standing position. And I'm going to, hi babes, sit. Good sit. I'm going to push his nose between his legs so that he moves over. Now, for a lot of dogs, they will drop their bums when doing this just because it's a little bit more comfortable and they already know to come on down most likely. So they think, hey, if I do this, I might get the treat. So what we can do for that is we can use our hand and lightly keep it under their belly so that they understand that they have to keep it up. Ready? George, stand. Very good, good. So I've got him in a standing position and I'm going to push his nose through. He's very squirmy. He really wants my treat. I'm going to hold my hand under. Yes! And I'm going to mark a reward in that position. And this is really important because if I say yes or use my clicker too soon or too late, I'm actually not rewarding the right behavior. So one more time. Then I'm going to stand. Yes! Good boy. Now he's not putting a lot of pressure with his belly on my hand at all, so I'm going to try and see if I can fade it. Yes! Good boy! Very nice. Now, an issue that some people run into when they're teaching a trick bow is they say, hey, my dog will do it, but then as soon as I say yes, they drop their bum to the floor and they can't get to ratio. What I do for this trick is I make sure that I use the same hand in which I used to have my treat, and I go, okay, to release them so that they tend to stand up. So I'm going to use, yes! Good boy! Super! And then we're going to try to do it from a standing position to see if he actually understands. Yes! Yes! Make sure those elbows are fully on the ground when you're marking and rewarding. And then the last thing you can do is once your dog understands what it's doing, so once it gets to 75% of the time, gets it with the lure, that's where you want to start adding a cue to it. Now my cue is not bow, my cue is bravo because we like to do it at the end of a show or at the end of a performance that we're doing for our friends and we say bravo and that's when we all bow. So I would go, George, bravo, oopsies, again, oopsies, again, George, bravo, oopsies, again, bravo. So as you can see, George is not quite ready for that. He can do it at home. He can't do it in this environment yet. And that's another thing to remember when you're training your dog is that if they know it in one environment, that doesn't mean they automatically do it in another environment. And so it's always good to go a step back. So for a little while, we're just going to be working from here. Bravo! Yes! Good boy. And that's how you teach your dog how to bow.